and say it for everybody in the back. Drake London is short. Down at the Buccaneers 3, Shaq Barrett brought the pressure. Christian Izien made the tackle. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers win. Move on to 6-7. They are first place in the NFC South. Oh my goodness. What a game. This puts Tampa Bay in first place. If the Buccaneers lost this game, they would have had a 7% chance to make the playoffs. Now that they have won, they have a 52% chance to make the playoffs now. What the heck, guys? What a game. Oh my goodness. The chat's going crazy. Understandably so. 982 people in here, folks. If you guys are new, go ahead and subscribe and hit the like button if you have enjoyed. What a game. Let's go over it. I mean, let's start off with the offense. There's a lot to talk about right now. First off is Baker Mayfield. And I'm going to be honest. I mean, of course I'm going to be honest. Baker was 14 of 29, 144 yards. Not great in terms of yardage and completion percentage numbers, right? Not great. 2 touchdowns, 3 total, because he did have a rushing touchdown in there as well. But what matters is we're going to take a look at the play-by-play. You take a look. Baker, 11 yards. The final drive, essentially. Let's just go to the final drive. What happens? It starts off with Baker hitting Godwin for 7. Then Rachaad White gets a couple of nice runs. We'll get to him. Then the 2-minute warning. Rachaad White gets a first down. That's great. You love that. Baker incomplete. Defensive holding, that's huge. You like to see that. It gives them an automatic first down at Atlanta's 47. Baker hits Godwin for 32. That was the first play that set it up, right? To the Atlanta 15. Baker hits Cade Otton for 11 yards for a touchdown with 30 seconds left in the game. This is what should have happened in the Houston Texans game, folks. Baker was clutch when you needed him to be. He scored a clutch touchdown when you needed him to. He accounted for all the Bucs touchdowns in this game, technically. Was it the best statistical game from Baker in the world? No, but he got them the win. Ultimately, he got them the win, and that's what matters. So, I mean, that's a good clutch performance from Baker when you needed it to be done. What a defining game for Baker in the clutch, and it puts the Bucs in first place in the NFC South. That is wild. Rachaad White, 25 carries, 102 yards on the day. Chase Edmonds, 8 carries, 40 yards on the day. The running game did so well today. 37 carries, 148 yards, 4 yards per carry. Helped grind out this game in the second half, which is one of the biggest reasons as to why they won this game, was because they were able to grind out the clock. They were able to whittle down this Falcons defense. That was huge. Chris Godwin had 11 targets on the day. More than any other Bucs wide receiver. Almost twice the amount of Mike Evans, who was second on the day with 6 targets. A lot of people are going to say it's because of what happened this week, but regardless, he did get the second most clutch play of the game, a 32-yard catch and run to set him up at Atlanta's 15-yard line. That's huge. Rachaad White had a 31-yard screen for a touchdown. Cade Otton had the game-winning touchdown. The passing game wasn't super crazy today in terms of statistics, but again, you look back at the clutch, you want to see more from Mike Evans, obviously, than 1 catch for 8 yards. You do want to see more than that. AJ Terrell is a very good cornerback, but to nitpick, you do want to see more from Mike Evans, obviously. We need to see more from Mike Evans moving forward. A couple more things. Rachaad White had a fumble late in the game. He was able to recover it. Robert Hainsey had a high snap that was fumbled. Rachaad White recovered that as well. Offensively, they did enough to win, and it was clutch in the end. That's what matters the most, is the offense did enough to win, and they helped this team win. No turnovers was huge. It was a little dicey in some moments with the inefficiencies and the punting. I mean, Jake Camarda had how many punts today? 6 punts today. So you need to see better efficiency, but they got the clutch out win when they needed to. Chase McLaughlin was fantastic today. Can't skip that. 2 of 2 in a 55-yard field goal, which, by the way, helped set it up to where Atlanta needed a touchdown in the end to win, not a field goal. That's Chase McLaughlin in there as well. That's great. The defense, though, was the star of the day, in my opinion. And I wanted to, and look, Desmond Ridder, he did have 347 yards, a touchdown, a pick. They did get 3.7 yards per carry and 2 touchdowns. Drake London went crazy. He didn't score in the end. At the very end, he was down at the 3. Again, I want to take a look at that play-by-play. If it'll let me. It won't let me. But in the play-by-play, there we go. Now we're here. In the play-by-play, last play of the game went down to the Bucs 3-yard line. A 28-yard pass down to the 3 from Christian Izien. I thought the defense was possibly going to give it up, but they didn't give up the game-winning touchdown in the end. And it was wild. It was wild. Defensively, Zion McCollum played a great game. I'm going to be making an own separate video about Zion McCollum because he's been showing up. Today was no different. 9 total tackles, 2 passes defended, a forced fumble in there as well. Almost was recovered by Yaya Diaby. It was not. He was probably one of the best players of the game today. Top 3. But Antoine Winfield Jr. was the best guy of the day. 8 total tackles, a sack, a quarterback hit. He should have had a pick, but it was negated by a penalty by Carlton Davis. Antoine Winfield Jr. continues to showcase week in and week out that this is a guy who should be an all-pro. He should be a Pro Bowler. He should be paid like one of the top safeties in the league because he is one of the top safeties in the league, if not the best. And that's still up for debate, but Winfield Jr. shows week in and week out that he deserves to be paid, and he is going to get paid. Another guy who stepped up, KJ Britt. Again, another guy I'm going to be making a separate video about. 8 total tackles, 1 pass deflection. Defense was really good with KJ Britt in there. What does that mean for Devin White? I don't know. We'll talk about that at a later date. One guy who some people were a little bit upset with, but overall I thought played a great game was Carlton Davis. 4 tackles, 3 passes defended, an interception that set up a Buccaneers touchdown early in the game. Overall I thought Davis played a good game. I know Drake London went kind of crazy. I know that. But Davis made some good plays today. Did he have some miscues? Absolutely. But I think there was more good than bad there. He played a good game. Levante David, 6 tackles, 1 pass deflection. Good game for him. Kalijah Cansey, a sack, a tackle for loss, a quarterback hit. Greg Gaines had a sack and a quarterback hit. May make a video talking about him. Pat O'Connor had the tackle that was a safety for the Bucs. They got a safety in this game, folks. Part of that was because of the sack fumble by Antoine Winfield Jr. And this was just a complete game. Oh, well, not a fully complete game, right? Like, obviously, there are some things you want to tighten up. Desmond Ridder having 347 yards is not great. But for a Falcons team that runs all over the yard, you held them to 3.7 yards per carry, which I know doesn't sound great, but overall, it's not terrible given the circumstances. And Baker Mayfield and the offense clutched up. Simple as that. Baker Mayfield and the offense clutched up. The defense didn't give up a game-winning touchdown. You saw explosive takeaway plays from the defense. The offense didn't have any turnovers. This was the narrative game. This was the game where the Bucs showed that, hey, it ain't going to be pretty at 6-7. And it ain't going to be pretty 29-25. It ain't. But they're still going to go out there And they're still going to try and get some wins. They're going to clutch up. This is different than the Falcons game. This is different than the Texans game. The Bucs knew that they had to win this game. Everything was on the line. And they played till the very end, until zeros were on the clock. And now they have a chance to win this division and make the playoffs. They're first place, guys. That's what this means. Absolutely electric win. Dramatic win. Oh my gosh. And now we have to see what's next. Now you have the Green Bay Packers, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the New Orleans Saints, and the Carolina Panthers. It's not over. You still have a lot of work to do, man. You have a lot of work to do. But this is a good start. This is a great start, even. And we'll see if they can get it done and if they can keep riding on this incredible momentum. 2 wins in a row now for the Bucs. And we'll see if they can keep it going, man. Crazy, dramatic win by the Bucs. They're now first place in the NFC South.